All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Sorry about that slight delay. Today, I've got a lecture about food and contaminants and what that means. Most of this information we've already gone over. We're going to go over it again, though, because it's very relevant to understanding how to overcome directed energy weapons. Food plays a massive part, and as survivors of neuroweapons human trafficking, our food is often the target of counterintelligence operations. So with that in mind, I'm going to jump right into the presentation part of this, and then like per usual, we're going to do a Q&A after. And let's see, it should be right here, and yet it's not. Wow, all sorts of not prepared today. Excuse me for this. I'm just pulling it up right now. Must have accidentally exited out of it. Right before the call, I had a bunch of stuff I had to do related to targeting. They always time their attacks to right before the show starts. So I got to do countermeasures, and it's a whole thing. Okay, so okay, there it is. It was up there the whole time. Go ahead and share this. All right. Today is the day. It's not letting me share it now. Okay. But not letting me share my screen. Interesting. So let me just stop this. We're back in. You can finish that thought if you want. Okay, we're back in. I'm sorry about that slight inconvenience. Something again was going on with this. And we are getting into the presentation. Can I get someone just to comment if they can see this, just because there's been so many problems?
I can see it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right, today we're going to be talking about heavy metals and how those interact with nanomachinery. Again, most of this information I've already covered, but it's still very relevant. Let me just make sure. Yep, okay, everything's good. It's still very relevant, and a lot of people, you guys are working through the steps, doing the deactivating of implants, wearing the components with the conductive layer. The conductive layer is very important. If you're starting to build those components, electrical wearables, get that conductive layer on. It will make everything work so much better. I haven't stressed that point enough. And you're detoxing nanomachinery and you're still not having success. A lot of that has to do with the poisoning of food. And depending where you are or what's going on in your near environment, i.e. break-ins, if you're leaving your food in your car, break-ins to your car, if you're leaving your food, say, at work, you know, wherever these people can get it, they'll get it, get access to it, and they'll spray crap into it. And we're going to cover that and a little bit of history of how that whole apparatus works. Some of this is speculation, some of this is my personal experience, and some of this is provable. I'll try to distinguish that, so if there's some confusion, excuse me for it. You know, we are working through these things like a candle in a dark room. And so each one of us has perspective of this, and when we open it up to Q&A, if anyone comments on this, you'll hear what I'm talking about. We all have different experiences with that. And then I have to speculate a little bit off that to understand how these things are happening. I've seen some of it I've seen the peripherals of. That'll make sense in a second. Okay, so food and the long history of poisoning the food. It goes back maybe thousands of years. I've heard conversations in Roman times where Roman rulers, temporary accounts, where Roman rulers would poison the food supply to keep people dumb and sick. Can you mute yourself? I know that's a bit off topic, but there's a long history of the powers that shouldn't be poisoning the population through the food. In more recent times, the last 100 years, the food supply has been fortified, quote unquote, with heavy metals, starting with the white bread, when it was basically right when it was getting sliced for the first time, 1910, 1920. Though I imagine there was heavy metals in the food supply, both on purpose and accidental before that. That's why I brought up the pizza thing, or the Roman ruler thing. But there's a long history in Italy of poisoning your enemies with pizza. So I just find that interesting. But another thing I find interesting though, that when the heavy metal entered the food supply and this quote fortifying, it was right at the same time that the radio grid was proliferated into Western culture, and that actually paralleled the Spanish influenza. All right, I'm not the first person to make that connection by any means. Many people believe that the Spanish influenza was actually radio frequency interacting with the public for the first time. I would think it would be that, plus the heavy metals in the food supply. They were already in the food supply at that time, just a lot less than today. That time of the year where people get the flu, it's the time of natural sickness, and this goes to a longer theory about terrain theory. And if you want to know more about this, Dr. Robert Young does a great job covering it. But basically, terrain theory dictates that when the environmental factors poison, or not poison, but toxify your body, you're going to have a natural purging reaction that's going to present itself as a sickness. Now, that always happens when decay is prevalent in your environment, your external environment. And that's usually in the late fall. All right? And that's usually when people get the sickest, like right now. And they usually get sick, repeatedly until that cycle stops, which is, depends on the person, right? But that cycle stops depending where you are when the environment freezes or comes near freezing. In places like Central America, I'll keep this really short, places like Central America, the decay season is actually in the rain season, right? Because they don't have that cold. And that's when everyone gets sick. So either way, the food supply getting poisoned has a direct tie to corporations taking over the food supply. All right, those two things are true. And I've said this before, and I don't want to belabor this point too much, but corporations are the vessel of the old world power. And that's to say what other people would call the New World Order, whatever you want to call it. The corporate families of today, that's the people behind the government, the people that put up the politicians. Can you mute yourself, please? Are the monarchical powers of yesterday. And the only reason that's relevant is because look what they're doing with everything going on, including us. Targeted individuals are their pet project, so to speak. That's why it's happening in every country of the world. But for this topic we're talking about with food, it's because these corporate interests have slowly taken over the whole food distribution network, from farm and factory to your refrigerator. And how they did that was it first started with the corporate charters. The corporate charters gave them rights basically to have factories. The factories would buy the food from the producers and make whatever product they were going to. At that period, this fortification, even back then, was going on. But I imagine, and I don't know this is the speculative part, is that there was probably like arsenic, and arsenic has been a constant for the last 150 years, give or take, mercury, various heavier metals that were put in there on purpose. But again, I don't know that for sure. There is some proof of that, but there's also plausible deniability because it was like, oh, mercury was good for your health. That's what we all knew. But it's like, is that true? I don't know. Either way, that started in earnest in 1880, give or take, and again, probably before that, but we can reliably say 1880. In the United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Spain, basically the foundation of Western society, roughly around 1880. Here in the United States, by 1930, the Great Depression, that's when a lot of industrial farming started, and it started because the people on the farms were selling their farms for rock bottom prices. The corporations were coming and buying it up, and that hasn't stopped since 1930. That's still happening to this day. Here in Washington State, weirdly, the number one owner of farmland is CCP-tied and Bill Gates, which is CCP-tied organizations. All right, so Chinese-owned organizations are CCP-owned organizations. Find that pretty interesting, right? So either way, moving forward, that's today, but these corporations have been buying up farms for a long time. By the way, the CCP is like a front for corporate interest for these corporate families. That's another longer conversation, but don't want to get off topic. The distribution was controlled by the 1960s. You see that most commonly in the same day or next day grocery service, and that being implemented. The supermarkets of today started in the 1960s. Actually, Trump's family had a big part in that. That's another longer conversation we don't need to talk about. The retailers in the 1990s, that was, again, the era of the giant grocery store when it was large, when it was a huge chunk of the market. Of course, it was before that. The supermarket started in the 1960s, but by the 1990s, when I was growing up, I saw the transformation. Here locally, it was the Albertsons, the Safeways, the Fred Meyers, the lobster tanks, the toy aisles. I saw it go from a small grocery store that some local person owned into those bigger chains. And then since COVID, there has been a huge monopolizing of all of this. So any independent farms, distributors, retailers, there is no independent factories anymore. That's a long conversation. You've seen disappear since COVID. COVID actually targeted a lot of those places and made them go out of business. And who was behind COVID? Well, the governments and the what do they call those? Oh, Jesus, it's escaping me. But basically the lackeys of the corporate families, the lobbyists and all of that dictated. It was the lobbyists. That was the word I was looking for. Dictated that Walmart, for example, stayed open while your local grocery store that was owned by mom and pop closed. And again, you saw that here locally where I'm at, Vancouver, Washington, in the ethnic grocery stores. The ethnic grocery stores were not allowed to stay open because those are your mom and pop places, but Walmart, Safeway, Fred Meyer were allowed to. So anyways, that's how the food supply got controlled. It took a very long time, at least in Western society. Again, it's not complete. There are some still independent farms. There's a few independent retailers, blah, blah, blah. But this is how it happened in Western society over the last 150 years, give or take. And back in the feudal times, the corporate families had control of that too. So really it was just there was a time period where they didn't have control of the food. But I'm not trying to get off point. There's a point for this. Since COVID, there has been, before COVID, certain corporate foods had chemtrail-like particulates in it. What do I mean by that? I mean nanomachinery and more heavy metals, or heavy metals that paired with nanomachinery. Since COVID, it's only increased, all right? This is the speculative part of it, but my own personal symptoms ingesting this food, especially before I was before I deactivated the implants or was wearing the electrical components, it had just gone through the roof in 2002. So let me say that again. The food before 2002, August to October of that year, was fairly okay to eat. There would be some things, and I'll go ahead and name their names because go ahead and sue me. Campbell's soup. It's funny, it's in the news today, about, our food's lab engineered. Who would want to eat it? I don't know if you guys saw that story, but I knew that before he said it because I ate it. I've gotten old cans of it made from 2020, 2019, stuff like that. I've ate that, and I've got symptoms similar to eating food that was tampered with during a break-in. Okay? So the chemtrail-like particulate has been in certain food for a very long time. Your Yum brand, which here, that's your fast food in the United States. That's Pizza Hut, KFC, McDonald's. Well, that's not McDonald's, but either way, moving past Yum products. Your Cisco products, which is very commonly found corporate freeze-dried food that's reheated at places like, just big diners, big chain diners. your frozen meals, lean cuisine, stuff like that, they have had this chemtrail-like particulate in it for, I don't know the particular brand, but a long time. I will guess with McDonald's, it's been since probably 98, 99, something like that. Because McDonald's is one of the vanguards of poisoning the food supply. And that's just, that's provable under a microscope. You can literally, because the stuff never decays, you can get old hamburgers from, and I've got videos of this from 2008, 2010, stuff like that, where they're pulling apart hamburgers and chicken nuggets and finding smart filaments in them. Smart filaments are another form of like smart dust. It's the same thing, but just in a filament is more tough. It's tougher. It can be put in the environment and kept in a solid state for longer than dust can. So sometimes in the chemtrails, instead of smart dust, they use smart filaments. I think all the time they use both, to be honest. Okay, so it's been in the food supply for a long time, and targeted individuals, one of the things that they're doing with targeted individuals, the data from it, and I know this based off personal experience of them poisoning certain foods at certain times, is they're getting data from it. They are trying to, it's basically the whole canary in a coal mine for people that aren't native English speakers. What that means is that they want to see how much they can poison you with this chemtrail-like particulate, what symptoms you can get before you die, before it will literally kill you. And when they want to kill someone, what they do is they poison their food. This is the most common way they kill people, whether it's targeted individuals or not, is they poison their food, wait for them to eat it, wait like an hour or two after, and then attack their heart viciously. And they do that with various directed energy weapons, but the idea is basically that the extra heavy metals in the food that goes through the GI breaks it up and it enters the blood supply. In the blood supply can cause a stronger electromagnetic reaction wherever they aim their weapon system. And that's 100% the case. I've lost family members to this. I've almost died to it myself. Once you understand, like Michael Trapala, for example, is another one who was killed with this. That's a little bit speculative, to be honest, but all evidence points to that. Once you understand that's the main way they're killing people, they're giving people heart attacks and strokes and clots, then you just watch the news, right? And just start looking for these people that have mysterious or have timely, not mysterious, but timely deaths around them, where it's a heart attack, a stroke, a clot. And it's like, how many of those are assassinations? I don't know, but I know a lot of them are. And that's the whole targeted individual part of the things they're doing to them, is they're figuring out how to do that so that, again, they can turn it and use it on the general public. And there's a pipeline of this research from the corporate people developed the chemtrail-like particulates. Everyone thinks this is military at the top level. It's not. It's what could be termed the black flag military operators. So that's private contractors. You can see that most clearly through like Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein or something like that. Whenever they're going after an enemy of theirs, Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein, they're always using these private military corporations, right? So those private military corporations are the ones that are taking the corporate research and using it on the ground to target, kill, maim, whatever. And a lot of the times for targeted individuals, it's those people that have your contracts, all right? And I know we talk about FBI contractors or NSA contractors or ATF or name your agency, right? MI6, whatever it is, MI5, whatever you are. Yes, that's true, but really these people are wearing multiple hats. And like if you were to get it most accurately, what they are is that they're these black flag military contractors with usually with, you know, informal connections to the various three-letter agencies, primarily because they were once in them. That's usually the case, not always. So you've got this pipeline of research and development that goes from the corporations to the militaries, black military, to the contractors, and then to the target, and then back to the factories, the farms, the distributors, the retailers. Basically, what works on targets, they end up, using again for more targeted, specific assassinations, or even putting these things in at the factory level, farm level, or the retailer level. And there is many things I could say about that, personal stories, and we could be here for the next 2 hours. I can think of 3 right off the top of my head, one in particular, but I'm not going to bother you with it. If you have questions about that in the Q&A part, go ahead and ask me, and I'll talk about it. So the old poisons, like I was saying before, the heavy metals that have been in the food supply a long time, arsenic, cadmium, lead, extra iron. People will say iron's not poisonous, but when you have too much of it, it definitely is. They were built to interact. Sorry about that. It's my dog. They were built to interact with an ambient weapon system. About to kick him out a few bucks again. But anyways, they were built for an ambient weapon system. The ambient weapon systems were those radio frequency blankets, the ultra low frequency, very low frequency, the Gwyn radar systems. Did I say extra low, extremely low frequency? All of that stuff has been developed slowly over the last 100 years, and it's been developed piece by piece. I did say that slowly, but what I mean by that is ultra low frequency, I believe was like the 1930s. Very low frequency, sometime around there, 1920s, 1940s, something like that. The Gwyn station stuff was after World War II. Extremely low frequency was in the 1980s. Radio frequency goes back to 1890, give or take. Microwaves, millimeter waves, right about now, giving back 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, something like that. I don't know the particulars of that. That was the old poison. The old filling you up with heavy metals as they were, right? So not attached to nanotechnologies. And the idea is basically if you're in a swamp of EMF and you've got these heavy metals in you, you'll be more magnetic, you'll be more acidic, you'll be more chronically inflamed. That's always true. If you have heavy metals in you and you're around EMF it's unnatural, and even some EMF that is natural, it will make you acidic. All right, and holding acidity in your body for too long will make you chronically ill. The new poison is built to interact with nanotechnologies for more advanced outcomes. Okay, so that's simply put, the heavy metals are still there. The nanotechnologies are now clumping the heavy metals in your body at certain places, at certain times for certain effect. Meaning basically directed energy weapons can interact with it. All right, so the new directed energy weapons that is on every block, right, is specifically for this. People talk about it, millimeter wave being the end-all, be-all of the current New World Order weapon system. That's not true. It is a big part of it, though. And it needs to have that high vibrational capacity or that high energy output that a millimeter wave can provide to move around these particulates in your body. Basically, the clumped, now we're talking about not just heavy metals, but clumped heavy metals. Let's say even smart heavy metals. And that's really what the nanotechnology that's aimed at the public is doing. And I put there smart particle growth and acidosis, because this is smart dust. Dual use science and technology is what they call that. But the dust has got synthetic biology in it. The synthetic biology so what is that? That's lab made or lab engineered life forms that grow within you as parasites. And those parasites will grab the heavy metals and clump them with certain external stimuli influences, which is to say directed energy weapons or undirected energy weapons. So you're looking at the old poison and the new poison coming together to make another layer of this wonderful so-called first world society that we live in, which again is just a See, I don't want to get too far off on that. I was going to say a new feudal state because it is, but that's a longer conversation I don't want to delve too far into. So what is nanotech? With that in mind, nanotech was created to solve a problem. The problem is pretty simple. Your body will naturally detox heavy metals. Without nanotech clumping it, without you making very poor habitual decisions like drinking too much alcohol or smoking or not getting enough sleep or just eating too much processed foods continuously, your body will detox it. Your body, once it becomes really in an acidic state, it wants to resolve that. It will naturally give you a desire, less of a desire to eat. It's only through your, and other things too, it's only through your continual bad habits, your malformed, what's the right way to say that? Relating to reality, which I guess would be habitual, but that's not the word I was looking for. But anyways, it's only through that, before nanotechnology, that these chronic illnesses would proliferate in your body. And for many, many people in Western society, it very much did. Heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, gallbladder issues, liver, kidney, you name it. Everything has been on the increase since World War II because of the amount of heavy metals, I believe. I know there's other things. And EMF in society has only increased and increased and increased. And that's been the main way they've been killing people, I believe. And that's the speculative part of this, because how are you ever going to find that data? You're not. But since nanotechnologies have been introduced in the public, especially since COVID, because since COVID, everything has increased 100-fold. Because that was, long story short, that those medical interventions that people went through was a way to install a more, even more, I don't know the right word, vivacious, a more robust, there it is, a more robust parasitical system within you than even the old smart dust and smart filaments could do. And by old, I mean 1996, 94, depending where you were. And then if you're in the so-called developing world, it's still being rolled out in some areas. So if you're like way off the path, like I was in 2022 in Nicaragua, there was no chemtrails there. There's no smart dust, smart filament proliferation until the third, fourth month I was there, and then it only lasted for a certain amount of time. I'm not sure if it's still going. This is where these World Economic Forum people, when they say you'll own nothing and be happy, this is why they're saying that. This is the whole mindset behind it. Because they've got these heavy metals and nanotechnologies in people that can be activated and controlled to some degree with directed energy weapons, and that's all in the process of being automated with so-called AI or machine learning. You know what that really, all that mumble jumble that I just said really is? It's the newest, greatest, biggest weapon. And to relate this to targeted individuals, what you are, if you're here and you're truly targeted, you are the testing grounds and the development, research and development for this whole new system. Not just the weapons part of this, but the actual boots on the ground police military part of it too. That's what the counterintelligence operations against you are really about, as far as the general public that involves themselves, the quote gang stalking. When those people, when they target you, it's not so much that the effect is meant to be so great. It's that, which it can be though, when 1,000 people mess with you, and they're not traffickers, they're just average Joes that think that you're some type of pedophile and they're going out of their day to ruin yours. It's not so much to destabilize you, although it will when it's done in mass, like I was just saying. It's to get all of society complicit with these crimes, get the new system built, right? Where, again, we've all got nanotechnology, we've all got these weapon systems, the ambient ones aimed at us and around us, and we've all ingested heavy metals. So all they need to do is basically tag any given person for whatever reason, and bam, you're on the grid. There's nothing you can do. And that's why it's so, so important for every targeted individual to survive. It's one of the most important things happening right now, if not the most important thing. I can't think of a more important thing happening right now than the targeted individual program for the reasons I just stated. Now, there's also a genocide wrapped up around this too. And again, that's a conversation for the end of this. I've got a little video. I was going to say for another time, but I do have a little video I can play. We'll see if it uploaded correctly. Okay, so just specific to your food, right? Because that's why you're here, is to learn how to survive this and to implement the paradigm of information I've been presenting even better. Understanding this is critical. That's why we're covering it. When you go to a grocery store, you'll get all this counterintelligence operation bullcrap. You'll get the gang stalkers, which is what I mean, the Joe Public. They will come and literally, this has happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to most of you, literally ram their carts into yours for no reason. They'll follow you around the store. They'll make idle threats under their breath. They'll call you names under their breath. I had some guy spit on me not too recently, or I guess 4 months ago. So, yeah, I get recent, whatever. But, yeah, around 4 months ago, some guy literally spit on my feet. You'll have all of that. Now, again, there is an element to this to destabilize you. Sure. Yep. Not putting that past that, but that's more or less the distraction. What's really going on is dusting your food. All right. So they parade all of these low-level community informants all around you, quote, gang stalkers, to play all these shenanigans. Meanwhile, the real attack, there's a human trafficker or a few human traffickers almost always in the grocery store with you. All right. Most of them, if you had to put a profile on them, they would be 35 to 65, former military, males, and decent shape. They're not going to stand out more than that, but that's usually what they look like, give or take. Sometimes those people are the private military, private security firm types. Sometimes they're actively working with the FBI or DHS, pick your agency, because oftentimes they do both at the same time. And that's true of your local sheriffs or your local police precinct. They'll moonlight for the private security firms while they have these formal positions. It's all incredibly illegal. This is all 100% very, very, very illegal. This will cause a crisis of government for the reasons I just stated when the truth comes out. And the truth will come out because we're going to survive this. But that's what they're doing. They're dusting your food. They're getting these heavy metal and sometimes nano. Usually it's not nano machinery. Sometimes it is, though, into and onto your food, right? So that when you eat it, your symptoms, for all the reasons stated before, will be that much more exaggerated. All right, when they hit you with the directed energy weapons. This is the same thing they're doing during break-ins. If you get your house broken into and you've got food hanging around, I would not eat it. I mean that 100%. Oh, how am I supposed to live? It's like, well, how are you supposed to live when you're giving people access to your body, right? So that's the bigger question is like, do you want these people to cause a heart attack and you die? Or would you rather just not eat until you can figure it out, right? And that's something that you individually have to figure out, how to protect your food. For years, what I would do is I would have a garbage bag, a 3mm thick garbage bag, because you cannot dust through a 3mm thick polyurethane shell, which is what those garbage bags, those outdoor garbage bags are made of, 3mm thick polyurethane. I would put one of those in a backpack. I literally did this for years. I put all my food in it, right? So that way I didn't have to worry about break-ins in my house because I couldn't guarantee someone would always be home, even though I begged them to always be home to wait for me. They would not because they did not believe me, so forth, so forth. I would carry this around. I put all my food for the day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days in that bag. Well, what do you do about refrigeratables? I wouldn't have refrigeratables, right? I'd only have what I could. And then when I ran out of that, if I needed to, I would get food from wherever I could, whenever I could, in and out. I'd go in for one specific thing. I'd come out. To this day, When I go into any type of store, that's what I do. If I'm going to buy anything that's food, I'm going to go in, grab it. I'm going to bring my backpack in. I'm going to have that 3mm garbage bag ready. Once that guy rings it up, before he rings it up, I'm going to have cash on the counter, and I'm going to be putting it into my trash bag that's in my backpack, because I do not want to increase the amount of heavy metals in my body more than there already is. Can you mute yourself, please? Whoever's banging around now. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so this is some hard truths about all of this. Is since there's been an increase of heavy metals and nanotechnology in the population, then this is speculative, but it's been going on since 1996, so I shouldn't have just said increase. I should have said since it started, but there's been a heavy increase since 2021, 2022, give or take. And in some places, it's still in the process of really increasing. But more people have died worldwide, across all of Western society from nanotechnology and heavy metals than I would assume, and I don't know this for sure, but I almost guarantee you, than World War I and World War II. And I'm talking about all sides combined. How many people are dying of heart attacks, strokes, organ failures, chronic inflammation, and how much of that is related to nanotech and heavy metals? All right, there's an increase in deaths across the board right now. Even if it's not reported, it's obvious. We all have personal stories of it. Younger people are dying in ways that we've never even seen before. Older people are dying quicker. How many of them is directly responsible to nanotechnology and heavy metals? And then how much is just partially responsible, and how much is not responsible at all? And I would garner that most, if not all, is directly responsible to heavy metals and nanomachinery. And again, yes, people are already chronically inflamed for whatever reason, genetics, poor life decisions, whatever it may be. But nanotechnologies and heavy metals are going to increase that process in a way that would be unmeasurable, that I could only speculate would be in the thousandfold. All right? It's like, well, where's the deaths? You would never know. You would never know. They would hide all of that, because we're talking about a total crisis of society right now. And it's been brewing. And if you've been doing the research, you can understand exactly what I'm saying. It's still here. It did not go away. Our attention gets pulled away from it, but it is not gone. It's only increased and increased and increased and increased. And this is how targeted individuals are the canaries. Back to that metaphor, where they're the markers, the various tests to garner, to gather the effectiveness of all these things happening in society. Right? How many? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that too much. I could just go about that. But let's not waste our time here. And I got that video, so I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to start sharing this video if it uploaded. Let's see if it did.
Hey, Andy, while you're doing that, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your chat room will not let me type with my app in the chat. I'm just letting you know that the chat room is not working right.
Okay. Hey, just pause that thought. We'll reapproach it, okay? I appreciate that, though. Okay, so now I'm gonna share that video. This is a video I made. It kind of goes over what we just did, but in like a 4-minute presentation. So tell me if you can't hear this, please. Can you see it?
I only see your face.
No.
I can see the screen.
Okay, let me
see. Audio.
Okay, let me see. Okay, that should be broadcasting. Do you see does anyone see that can look on that has their computer open, the Onionhead Andrew logo?
Yes, I have the computer open. I see Onionhead Andrew.
Okay, perfect. Okay. That's weird. Hope the video hasn't been off this whole time. Either way, who cares? I'm going to go ahead and push play, and we're going to see if we can hear it.
In the previous short-form video, Synthetic Biology Genocide, Onionhead Andrew proposed a theory that synthetic biology, termed the cross-domain bacteria, was being used to build wireless body area networks to place the population in a millimeter wave kill-control grid.
Okay, so real quick, I made this one years ago, and I made it with less understanding than I have now, that cross-domain bacteria is the lab-made nanotechnology or the synthetic biology that encodes for the nanotechnology.
We find evidence of the cross-domain bacteria's presence within the food supply, vaccine components, aerosol or chemtrail dispersions. The cross-domain bacteria need certain conditions to culture and grow within a person. These conditions are an acidic internal environment and heavy metal raw materials. The synthetic biology attack on the population has a counterpart that is equally as insidious. Our food supply is being destroyed and poisoned with nanoparticulate heavy metals. These nanoparticulate heavy metals are the building blocks necessary for cross-domain bacteria. Have you wondered why the food distribution and processing centers have been under attack all across Western society, but especially United States? Black hat deep state intelligence assets have been blowing up and burning down food processors and distributors. This is an attempt to bottleneck the food supply available to the public. The powers that should not be are trying to remove all unpoisoned food from the market, food without heavy metal, nanoparticulate, and synthetic biology present. If this is not stopped, the only food supply left will be corporations sympathetic to the global depopulation plan and the rollout of the new technocratic slavery system. Corporations like Walmart, Target, Costco, Albertsons, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Fred Meyer. Corporations owned and traded almost exclusively by the new aristocracy, the same group of people present at the World Economic Forum, the same group of owners that Ian Carroll of Cancel This Conspiracy Channel has deemed megacorp.
Just one giant megacorporation. And I'm not talking about metaphorically. And I'm not talking about BlackRock. I'm talking about what's really behind BlackRock. And this is who owns BlackRock. White is retail investors like you and me. Gray is insiders at all of these corporations like CEOs and other executives. And black is just corporations owning each other. We'll call it megacorp. This is the same process done for Bank of America and for State Street and for Best Buy, Amazon, Macy's, groceries, food, ingredients.
We must turn to our local farmers and support their efforts to provide non-poisoned food to the public, while also starting our own gardens. We must get our water from springs and wells. We must clean the chemtrailed air with orgone technologies. If we do not have clean food, air, and water, we have no future. Our children have no future. We will be as the new aristocracy wish, dead or trapped within technocratic slavery. We will explore this hypothesis.
Okay, so there you have it. That's about it for the presentation part of it. So if anybody wants to comment or question or anything like that, go ahead. Now is the time.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Okay. I had a question. I guess I have a lot of questions. I don't want to take too much time. My mind is kind of going all over the place. Is there a particular like water purifier that you have any thoughts about that might be helpful, like for a kitchen faucet to help with that?
Okay, so specific to targeting,
Yeah.
no, because they will spray crap on pipes and it will leach in through the pipe. I've seen them do this. I have no idea what they're spraying. The best thing to do if you're targeted is to get your water from like a gas station or something like that.
Like
you can get those jugs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
you're getting poisons in it like you would, from any bottled water, but you're not getting the extra poisons that you would when you're targeted. Because literally, if they've done it in front of me before. City employees, they'll come by and they'll spray some crap on the pipe, just real quick, right in the front where the water comes in. Yeah, on a regular basis. If you want clean water though, like I was saying in the video, your best bet is getting well water. It'll have more, which is ironic, iron in it a lot of the times, but you're much better off with that natural, this is very ironic, that natural iron deposit in your water than you are with the extra heavy metal, chemical substrates, all that.
Okay.
I was doing that for years. Yeah, go ahead.
So get bottled water.
Yeah,
Okay,
get bottled water, but if you live near someone, you can get well water. Get well water. That's way better. I used to have 5-gallon jugs.
Okay.
I would just fill them up at a time.
Okay.
And then there's a third option. The third option is actually you can get the homemade, or what do they call those? Self-drilling well kits. They only go down 10, 15 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let somebody else ask. Maybe I'll come back later. Okay, thanks.
But hey, keep thinking about it. If you figure out a better solution, I'm all ears. That's a lot of the reason I'm doing this.
Okay, thanks. And do you prefer Onionhead or Andrew or what?
It doesn't matter. Andrew's fine.
Okay, thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Andrew,
Yeah.
I figured out something with the stun guns.
Okay, go ahead, Sandy. Oh, hold on, real quick, Sandy, real quick.
Yeah.
To everyone that's new, normally this is just one aspect of what we talk about. This is the detoxing nano part of it and heavy metals. We talk about deactivating implants, number one. That's what Sandy's about to talk about. Then we talk about wearing electrical components. So that's to say, instead of shielding, we're attenuating frequency by wearing these components. And number three, which was today, is detoxing nano and heavy metals. Okay, go ahead, Sandy.
So we were talking about last week that some of the stun guns were going back and forth, so both of the prongs were working, and that's not the proper way of using it. Well, I couldn't figure out what was going on, and my hot glue gets pliable, I guess, if you will, and that wire will move. So I have to constantly move that. So if it gets to that hot glue gets in contact with one of those, the other prong, it automatically conducts on both sides. So sometimes you have to move that wire away. That might be the problem. So I have to do that a lot. It's not ruined yet. I just have to take off that second wire and take it like 1/8 of an inch with nothing touching the ceramic or the metal around it, just on the gun.
That's a great point, Sandy. And that goes to something Charlie was saying before we started recording about the heat. So there you go, Charlie. You're probably right about that low heat wire.
Yeah, thanks. And also, I got a gap. Sometimes I have a gap on both sides. I see a little spark on both sides of the prongs. Maybe the glue breaks down, or it separates and it's not making a right connection on one side. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Somehow or another, one of those metals has to be touching a metal if it's going back and forth. So just move it down away from the other prong. Just move it further down and glue it further down. That's worked for me because mine was doing the same thing. And then I would use it and notice that it was going back and forth again. So I would just take everything off on that side, and then I would glue it or tape it to the side, and it started working again just fine.
Okay. Also, I got another question. If I buy semi-high-powered microscope. And you think I could see this stuff inside my blood?
Well, I don't know about that. I do know that people have before at about 2,000, 4,000x. You go to Clifford or look up Google Clifford Carnicom of the Carnicom Institute. He's got 20 years of evidence of it. It's absolutely fantastic work. But here's what I will say. If you get a 400 to 800x microscope, you can actually see the smart particles in your house if you're targeted.
In my house?
Yeah.
How would I see that underneath the microscope?
Well, you got to find it first, but on the ground it looks like dust. So it's sometimes that dust is actually dust, dirt, and whatnot. A lot of the time, though, it's this nanomachinery, smart filament crap. So you grab a clump of that, you put it under the microscope, you'll see.
Yeah. So if I get one that's 2,000x, I could probably see the nano inside my blood.
Well, the way they did that was dark field microscopy. That was Clifford Carnicom primarily, but Dr. Anna Mihalcea has replicated his findings. And then they've cultured that, or they've cultured it too. So they pulled it out of people's blood and they cultured it. But they were using 600 to, I think the highest was 4,200x dark field.
Oh, okay. And also, I've been tested with high levels of arsenic in my blood in the past. So they poisoned me with arsenic, and so.
I believe it. That's a common thing. Here's something though, when it comes to that blood work test, is that oftentimes the labs will be involved in it too. All right, and I don't know how that really works, but I have experienced it, where it's like I've gotten these heavy metal panels done and nothing's come up, and it's like, no, that's not right at all. I know that's not right at all. But then I would get like, I don't know. There would be indicators of heavy metal poisonings. It would be like the white lymphocytes, I think it was. It's been so long, but the zinc and copper levels would be crazy off. Like lots and lots of indicators of having heavy metal poisoning, but not the actual heavy metal markers.
Yeah, the doctor's never even seen it. I mean, they kind of freaked out when they seen my blood report, the doctor, so at the time. So, and they told me to go down to the police department and file a report, too. But I never did, because I knew I was targeted. But anyway, also, if you think is the targeting still going on in Nicaragua, or you think it's safe to go down there?
Well, so that's a good question, because what will happen is that it will follow you. And I guarantee that the people, that's a hard one to answer. When I was there was nothing at first, and then there was. And the people that came were primarily Israelis. They were also U.S. NGOs. That's usually one and the same. But either way, when I left, they were still there. So they were building that network up, which is probably still existing right now. I don't see them abandoning it. But at the same time, I don't see them targeting more than one or two people in the city that I was in. So if you went to Nicaragua, you would be much better off than here. But eventually people would be following you. They would be, eventually it'd be right away.
Because I went to Costa Rica, and it's no different in Costa Rica. I mean, when I landed at the airport, they were calling out my name.
Yeah. The Costa Rican military and U.S. military are linked at the hip, but Israelis run that country. They run our country too, but more so in the open there. It's not a big secret, and it's not like an anti-Semitic thing to say like it is here. But there it's like a well-understood thing. They literally own sections of that country out in the open. So, yeah, when I arrived in San Jose, same thing. It was immediate, just surrounded by all these Costa Rican 25-year-old intelligence people.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, I'd like to get your if you see that link that I sent you, that was in the chat room. I'd like to get your opinion on that too. So,
Okay. Yeah. Hey, send me an email, Charlie, so I got yours right up top.
Okay.
Thank you. It's hard to keep track of everybody's. Go ahead.
I have another thing too. Those packs that we put on our bodies, and then the Mylar cable or whatever. I did wrap the Mylar around everything instead of the Faraday blanket, and it worked tenfold. It's amazing. So I'm really thankful for whoever mentioned that. It's a good one.
Okay, so you put the Sandy's talking about the wearables, the buildables, the DIY wearables. So you have wire on you, right?
Yeah, I have all those packs on me, and then I'm just
making it clear for everybody. You've got the capacitor mats too on you.
Yeah, a big cable.
And then
Then I take the Mylar and I tuck it all around on the outside, and I tape it so it won't move.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I've been using the inside. I've been putting the conductive layer on the inside. I'll try the outside and see what happens.
Yeah, I did the inside at first, and then I did the outside, just playing around with it. And the outside tucked all around worked really well. And then I put the packs in my ankles, and I wrapped the Mylar all around that, and then put my socks on.
Okay, well, that's great. That's great. That solves the problem I've been having. Sorry for interrupting you. What were you saying, Sandy?
Oh no, I was finished. It just works. It worked for me. I'm kind of wondering, like, when I go to work, though, I'm being, my nose, my ears, my skin burns. So they're spraying me with something somehow, and I can't figure out how they're doing that.
Well, you showed me that video, and it was crazy because she's got a security system. Do you mind me saying this?
No, not at all.
She's got a security system in her office, and I was telling her about these aerosols because what happens is, to get more heavy metals in a person, so like what they prefer to do is poison your food, like I was talking about in the presentation. But if they can't do that, or they need more immediate effect, which is often the case, then they'll release aerosols into a targeted person's environment. And I was telling Sandy about that, and then she sent me a video. And in this video, this truck starts right up next to the off the camera a little bit. And within seconds, the exhaust from the truck is just all over the video. And it's like, okay, so what are the odds that the exhaust goes right to the video, right to where the camera's pointed? Well, I guess it'd be pretty high if the wind was blowing that way. Okay, so if you look at the video, I wish I had it ready so you all could see this. The exhaust doesn't move past that area like the wind's pushing it. It goes to that area and it wafts back and forth. And basically what's happening is that there is magnetic particulate within those heavy metals. And those aerosols are being moved around through with weather weapons. The similar weapon systems that like HARP and basically how they're controlling weather and mass scale, they can do that in the micro. And a lot of that has to do with the chemtrails above you too, because it makes like a microcosm. But that's how they're getting that those aerosols into Sandy's breathable space at work. But knowing everything that we've talked about, Sandy, that's not the only thing that's happening. When you're not there, I guarantee, because this is what they do. I mean, I can't guarantee it. I'm 99% sure of it. They're spraying herbicides and pesticides all over your office.
Yeah, I think so too. But that video is my home, and they're doing that also at work, so I get it both ways.
Yeah, and if they have to, they will use the older weapon systems like the herbicides and the pesticides, because those make synthetic heavy metal compounds when you ingest them. and then they'll layer the new stuff on top of it.
And they get me really bad in the car, so I take my stun guns with me, and like it's bad traffic in Dallas and Fort Worth, and I'm stuck going to work. And I also put them on that Ghost app because I can hear them every once in a while. And they'll say, you know, line, or they'll say something, hit low. And it's amazing. I mean, I can just move that, you know, move my stun gun around and save myself on my way to work. But, I mean, there's got to be 50 people, but what are they aiming at me?
What do you mean?
I mean, is there some kind of microwave rays that they're sending from their cars?
I imagine it's coming from drone, because that's usually what it is, but it could be also from cars too. And that whole, I mean, you've heard me say it a bunch, but that whole spectrum is weaponized. So everything from, I don't know, the low end of it, microwave, radio frequency is the low end of it, up to gamma rays. And I don't know how often they're using gamma rays, but they will literally tune up and tune down. The last 6 months has been me dealing with them tuning up and tuning down. That's how they're trying to keep me on the kill grid. That's the only way they've been able to.
Well, at night, you can see drones at my house. I mean, and I'll video them, and it's so weird because this big ball goes around them, and it's, you know, they know when I'm videoing them. But I'm constant. If I go for a walk, try to walk, I have a drone following me. I mean, it's crazy.
You've got that at work too. You've got that when you're driving too. It's just you don't have time to look at it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Andrew.
Yep,
looks like you have like a bag of potato chips and it's sealed. I mean, how are they going to get the stuff inside that?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because that's a huge part of this. Glass, man, great question. Glass, aluminum cans, plastic bags like you were talking about, it's all porous to nano, right? Because that's the scale of the particulate they're using. That's why you can't see it. A lot of times we're talking about Sandy a second ago, the only reason we saw that is because it was the heat of her exhaust. And a lot of the particulate in her exhaust was not even micro-sized, or not her exhaust, but her neighbor's exhaust. But when they're not using like a car to distribute it, and they're just spraying it, they're releasing it from like their pockets, you know, or like some item that they have on them. It's making such a fine mist that you don't see it. And that fine mist is movable with these other weapon systems. So one person's releasing it from something, another person, or maybe a software program, I don't know, that's speculation on my part, is aiming it into whatever they're aiming for. So you have your plastic bags, your plastic potato chips, answer your question, and you won't see any difference with it unless they do it too much. And then what you'll notice is that now the air can be deflated, all right? But that's only if they do it too much, because these nano-sized holes are so small that, I mean, the plastic itself is going to rupture before you push air through those nano holes. Does that make sense?
So they have to establish these nano holes. So if you have no nano holes in your potato chips, and you open the bag and you eat that bag, and then that's it. I don't see how they're getting in there.
Okay, well let me.
So porous. The bag is so porous. The bag's so porous that these nanotechs can get inside of it.
Yeah, because they're using using other energy weapons to move the particulate through it. So just because
once you open the bag, then once you open the bag, then it comes in, huh?
No. Before you open the bag, with glass too. This is what I'm saying. Let's use glass, because that's even a harder surface. Like if I've got a glass bottle, I don't know, whatever, like a beer bottle, that type of shape, and it's got its carbonation and everything. If I hold that out in public, right, and I'm targeted, what they're going to do if they get the opportunity is they're going to drive this particulate into that, all right? So you're not going to perceive that. It's not going to create a wind, right, unless they release a lot of it. Sometimes it does. It's not going to produce an effect on the glass. What's going to happen is the nano-sized particulate is going to hit the glass and move through it. All right, because it's got the energy, the inertia of moving through the air, and once it hits the part, the whatever the object is, it's going to move through it. You're not going to see that effect. Glass is a much less porous surface than that plastic bag, right? So the plastic bag is incredibly easy to move nano through. The glass is a little bit harder. Yeah, even aluminum cans.
It goes right through. Damn, it goes right through. It just goes right through the material.
It goes right through the material. Yep, that's why they're getting you at the grocery stores. Exactly.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I know. It blew my mind when I figured it out too. Yeah. Now test what I've said for yourself. Don't believe me, test it for yourself. Go to the store, go in and out of like a gas station, whatever. Get a bottle of water, whatever you're going to get. Get one thing in and out. Make sure no one got access, no one's around you, nothing like that, right? And so you can guarantee that this has just the corporate poison in it, not the extra stuff, okay? Drink that. Put that away. Put it away somewhere. Go back to the same gas station, different gas station, matter, and take your time. Spend 5 minutes in there, 10 minutes in there, get that one thing, and then go ahead and drink it right after and see what happens. When you spend that 5-10 minutes there, whatever it is, and they don't know that you're doing this little test, they will try to get that crap in there. They always try to get that crap in there. When you go to the gas station or whatever it may be, a little store, and you're buying a drink or something like that, and they get that stupid counter or community harassment agent, whatever you want to call it, gang stalker, to put their drinks right in front of you, to stand right next to you, to do all that crap right at the till, is to distract you so that these people that are either right outside or right inside can get this crap in your drinks or your food or whatever. Always doing it. They're always doing it. It's like the main thing. It's the main reason they follow you around. Well, one of them. It's not the main reason. It's one of the biggest reasons, though.
Okay, let's say I have a chicken that's just frozen chicken, okay?
Okay.
And you wash it off and you boil it. You don't the boiling, and that's like to get rid of stuff or anything?
No, but let's say if you did want to significantly reduce the amount of it, if you were afraid that it did get hit, like say at the grocery store when you were buying it, what you would do is you would cut the outside edges off of it. And cutting the outside edges off of it would reduce it heavy. And what I mean by that is, so like, I'll give you a literal example of what I've literally experienced. I got ice cream. The guy took too long at the gas station. He ended up getting hit. I knew it was getting hit because I knew exactly who to look for when they came in behind me. It was that 45-year-old former military. In my case, he was an outlaw biker because that's the group that's got the human trafficking contracts here locally. All right, so I knew what happened. I got hit. I came home. I took that ice cream. I more or less just ate the center of it. No symptoms. And this was before I was deactivating implants. So you can work around it. I mean, because this stuff is coming from the outside in.
Okay, take the top layer off if you can.
Well,
yeah,
but the sides too. The better thing to do though is just to be cognizant of it and change your habits to that, right? Get clever with how you acquire food, whatever that may be. But this is one of the main things they're doing. I'm so glad you asked that question. Yeah, I know it's a bit much, but just don't believe me. Test it for yourself, and then come back to me in a few weeks.
But the corporate poisoning, and then we have extra poisoning because we're targeted, you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if you get rid of the extra poisoning, we still have the corporate poisoning, but we can live with the corporate poisoning, or?
Way less symptoms. All right? Way less symptoms. Unless you're eating one of those particular foods that's been perfectly engineered to be a carrier of it, like McDonald's, for example.
And then you said eat garlic. That'll kind of like take it away.
Garlic, but you can see that's the issue though, is that yes, garlic does bind it. The issue is that when it's not just garlic, too, alkaline foods in general bind these heavy metal and nanomachineries. But detoxing heavy metals in general will bind it. But the issue is not knowing that. The issue is getting clean garlic. because the powers that shouldn't be figured this all out years before they got to this point. So, 2022, August, give or take here, they realized, they were like, well, we're just going to poison everything here. And that's what they've done. They've poisoned everything locally. Before that, I used to treat a lot of my symptoms just with eating alkaline. I didn't need to deactivate implants. I didn't need to wear anything, really. Sometimes I did, like copper, whatever, but nothing like today. And that's because I was just going out and I was getting fresh garlic from the grocery store. And the fresh garlic had all the things I needed in it. So if you're in one of those areas that hasn't been poisoned yet, by all means, get the garlic. But if you are in one of those areas that have been poisoned, the best thing to do is fast.
Yeah. Because the garlic is open, because they could just spray the garlic. There's this big pile of garlic at the grocery store, they just spray it right there, so it's already on there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of this is why I brought up in the presentation distributors and retailers being involved, because they very much are. And I could go into that, but I know for sure of one local distributor that's very much involved. And I know for sure that one giant retailer is very much involved just because of being targeted, And that's a longer story I could get into, but there's no point unless somebody else.
So if I go to a farmer's market,
yep,
I should bring the green 3mm bag with me. Buy the stuff in the farmer's market, right behind the counter, and then throw it inside the bag as fast as I can.
As fast as you can, exactly. And then know that, right? Okay, so here's the ticket. Know that you're doing that, and know that you're going to get resistance, right? Like there's going to be people on the ground to poison you. If what I'm saying is not full of shit, and it's not full of shit. Hold on, let me finish. And at that point, right, you have pushed them back into a corner just by having all the right habits, knowing what they're doing. So what will be shown to you is their hand. You will be able to see, most likely, the local human traffickers involved, their literal faces. They will no longer hide behind community harassment agents or whatever informant bullcrap they want to. You will see the literal boots on the ground adapt to what you're doing in real time and try to poison your food. That first few times. This is how you learn who's targeting you in your environment. You force them into corners, right? You force them to react to you. And if you do all those things, Charlie, they very much will react to you.
Well, I want to do this. I want to get this food, so when I fast, I could eat that food for 3 days, and knowing that it's not going to be poisoned, right? Instead of totally going, without food for 3 days. If I can get farmer's market food that's not poisoning and eat that for 3 days, it should be the same thing as fasting, right?
Yeah, I used to buy. Better actually. I used to buy directly from farms to do what you're doing. And I only stopped doing that because I needed to, because they were breaking into the farms at night, the local FBI contractors, which again in my area are outlaw bikers. But I don't think it was them that was doing it. I think it was one of the other groups, the immigrants, I believe. But I don't know that. Foreign intelligence is what I mean, not just immigrants. But they were breaking into the farms at night and they were spraying the food. And not only that, but they were messing with their water systems too. They were poisoning their water systems at these farms, just like ours as targeted individuals are. That's what they'll do. That's how insane this is. Go ahead.
I have a question. Yes. So thank you so much for this presentation, because it's so relevant to what I'm going through right now. So I just recently got poisoned. They broke into my place, poisoned my stuff. So it's something that I've experienced for years, but I didn't know what it was. I blame it on mold. And so once you have it inside, you're poisoned inside of your place, everything is poisoned, because eventually it just cross-contaminates. So how do you, I'm just trying to figure out how to get through this, because as soon as I eat the food, I feel the pain, even if I keep it outside the refrigerator or whatever, and it's fresh food. So how, you go to the store, you purchase your vegetables, how do you keep them?
Okay, so what they've done, particularly during that break-in, is they probably sprayed those nano walkers, okay? So keep it in the nano walkers are the mobile form of nanomachinery. I know I'm adding another layer to this, but that's definitely a part of it. The other thing they've done during that break-in is spray pesticides and herbicides that release vapor. That vapor that it's releasing is a chemical, or it's like a chemical substrate of a synthetic, synthetic heavy metal. Let's just call it that. It's a synthetic heavy metal. So what you would do is you would keep it. Geez, you see, that's a tough spot when your fridge gets messed up like that. Man, see, I don't want to tell you, like the full entirety of it. Oh, no, here's a solution. Put it.
I don't understand that because I've dealt with it for years. Once it's in the refrigerator, you cannot get it out. That's it. You just cannot get it out.
Well, so there's a few things they do with that. They spray it like we were talking about with the nanomachinery, and then sometimes the herbicides and pesticides. But there's also another thing, is that they geo-fence it, so meaning that they tag it so that when they release aerosols into your near environment, they drive the aerosols into the refrigerator so that the particulate bounces around the inside of the refrigerator. Okay, so how you can figure out if your refrigerator is usable at all is put your food in a 3 millimeter thick garbage bag and then put it in the refrigerator. And if your food stays decent, right, it's not as bad as the other stuff because you know the difference, then you'll know that aerosols or vapors are coming from the refrigerator and penetrating your food.
Okay, so how did you, because they went in your home on poison, right? So how did you get through this?
When that was happening to me,
when everything is contaminated.
I do extreme stuff, right? And this is why I'm in the position I'm in right now, because I'll walk through hell as long as I need to. But what I would do is I would put my food in a metal toolbox. Right? That sounds crazy. Worked though. And this is before I knew about 3 millimeter thick garbage bags, polyurethane bags, stopping it. So I would take this metal toolbox. It was a big metal toolbox. I cleaned it out, made it nice and clean, and I kept all my food in it. And I just wouldn't eat refrigeratables, really, give or take.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to eat alkaline diets because you need the vegetables. That's so important.
We are in a different time from just a few years ago. When I was doing the alkaline diet stuff heavy, people would still try to poison me at the grocery store, but it would be nothing like it is now. Now it's like I got an army of people. The amount of human traffickers in this area has increased maybe 5 times. The amount of community-based informants has increased maybe 20 times, 30 times. We're just in a different time, and this is why I tell people, eat alkaline if you can, get that clean food in you if you can, but fast if you can.
Yeah.
And then you, like I've been saying specifically to you about getting those wearables done. The wearables are going to help you more than anything at this point.
So I do have a question about the wearable. So I really haven't gotten to that yet because I've been busy just trying to clean up a part of where I live so I can be more comfortable. But what you said last week, you said you wear the wearables all the time. So I hope this is not going to be too personal.
No, go ahead.
I'm just wondering if when you go in the shower, do you keep it on?
Oh, no, I take it off for the shower.
For the shower, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, but I got it on right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I just built a new one, so it's a lot thinner and it works more effectively.
Okay.
I got to figure that one out because I look like the Michelin Man every day I go to work.
Yeah, I will publish this in due time. I'm still figuring out exactly what works and what doesn't. But yeah, I broke through on the wearables. So I'll let you guys know when I've got it more figured out.
Okay, so I just one more question. Hopefully this is the last. I'm just wondering, if I didn't ask it before, I'm just wondering how did you clean up the mess after they contaminate your home.
I wouldn't eat the the general mess.
Yeah,
Jeez.
If you touch, it's contaminated, and it's just cross-contaminated and everything else. So that's really because for years I've been through it and I didn't know. And what I did, mine was drastic, very drastic. I just moved without nothing, so I get rid of everything, and that's all. And I have 5 years of peace, and I just took it away last week.
I'm sorry. That's awful.
And so that's how I got through it, because it would follow me. And so I kind of knew how to clean it up, so I have a clean area, but it's very stressful and tedious on the body. So anyway, I don't know if you can answer that one.
Yeah, no, there is no good answer to it besides that you get those wearables down and you'll be less affected. All right?
Okay.
Because I don't know, like ozone works to some extent.
No, well, it didn't. Yeah, because even before I knew about the nanotechnology, I was ozone in my place. It doesn't work.
Yeah, well, see, they're going to be using really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
The pulsed electromagnetic fields, they help to some extent.
Yeah.
But the best thing is going to be for you right now is getting those wearables, and then we can talk more as you're figuring out the wearables part of it, either next week or offline, off the call. I mean, whatever. But there is other things to be done, but it has to do with demagnetizing your personal body.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I can see the importance of that. I know why I say that. So you're right about that. So thank you so much for all you do.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. That's awful. I know how that feels. It's such a terrible feeling to know that they've been in your stuff and ruined things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, the person making the noise, can you mute yourself? Sounds like a phone that's flipping. I muted you. All right, is there anybody else? Is there anybody new here that wants to just introduce themselves or, ask me particularly about what we're doing here, the bigger idea?
Andrew, could you just give your email address one more time, please?
Yeah, it's ACOLE9689 at hotmail.
Okay.
.com.
Yeah, hotmail. Okay. ACOLE9689 at hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay.
You're welcome. So we got a bunch of people, to thank you to all the regulars who spoke. It's so important that we... Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much. I have been here before. I wanted to ask about, magnetic.
Hold on. You're cutting out.
Okay, let me move to another spot that works better, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, I think I recognize your voice from last week.
Yes. I'm on the phone. Yeah. So, is this a little better?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. High magnetics in the home. Is there anything to do to counter that? I mean, I don't know if that's what is involved with interference when I'm using battery-operated things, like the battery looks like it's dying, or they kind of take the power out of a regular battery, an alkaline battery, and other things like when I'm on the phone too. I don't know if it's the magnetics, but is there anything to do to counter high magnetics? Somebody who was a tester came by and she said even approaching the neighborhood about half a mile away, if she could detect high magnetics.
Well, I would make sure that your house is grounded correctly. There's a way to do that with a wall tester plug. It's a GFCI tester. If there's if your house isn't grounded, that'll make it more magnetic for sure. It's hard to know particularly though without being there.
Okay.
As far as when it interacts with you, we've got a bunch of solutions for that though.
It's the wearables and everything, your whole set of things, and or other things too.
No, it starts with that. It always starts with that. I'm sorry.
Okay, and I'm approaching that. Yes, I'm in process still with that, and wanting to call for that too, or after I look at your materials some more. And then two more quick things. One, I think I might have said it. Sometimes I feel like it feels like drops of water, like right now. And now, I keep my temperature cooler than average, but it's definitely some like little drops of precipitate feeling that hits my skin inside my house. And when I'm doing any kind of shielding that might be effective, I get it even more. And other times too. I don't know if they're tracking me. I'm not sure why, but have you experienced or know anything about that?
No, but that sounds like it's moisture.
It feels like moisture.
I have that experience too.
Okay, great. So just based off of what I know about what they're doing, if you're feeling moisture interact with your skin and it's colder than the room temperature, it's probably coming from outside. And if that's the case, then it's probably those aerosols that I was talking about.
It feels like a drop of water. It just feels like a drop of water hits you.
Yeah.
Okay, well that could be a weapon system too, directed energy. It's hard to know because there is a directed energy weapon system that feels like, it feels kind of like, it's really hard to describe. Like you've got static electricity here where there's none. Does that make sense?
Sometimes it burns. It's static electricity. I'm trying to remember how that feels, but it's more. Sometimes it's the cool drops, and other times it can end up. The end feeling could be like a little bit of burning on the skin. So I don't think it's static. I'm not quite.
Yeah, I think that's something else. It could be the aerosols. That would be my best guess, but I'm not for sure. Hey, so if it was the aerosols, they would be released from outside, and they'd be driven into your breezeways and breathways from the outside. So there should be a draft, if it is.
Okay, I'll think about that. About the drafting, even something that I might be creating a little bit. A draft, they're just taking advantage of any kind of draft.
Exactly, yeah. 100%.
Okay.
And you'll notice that, targets will notice that. You'll walk around your house, there'll always be a little draft in your nose or mouth area. It's like, where's this coming from?
Okay, thank you. But anyway, everybody who happens to still be on the call, I was saying, as I listened to you, Andrew, you never said to say anything, but if it's okay, it seems that even buying equipment for when Andrew's trying to test for us or test, it means that he's waiting sometimes just to get more money. So if anyone feels inclined, please feel free to give him any level of support that works for you. This is not, nobody told me to say this, and I didn't ask for permission either. But if you go on the site, and since he's not charging us anything, and just as your heart desires, that'll help him too. Because I was shocked when I heard he's waiting to get more money to even do some more testing and learning. So that's just a comment, and please, I hope that works okay. Just hearing that, everybody. I'm not telling you to do anything, just as your heart leads. Thanks.
And what is the best way to do that with him? Do you have Zelle or anything like that, Andrew?
I got PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee and Cash App. I do not have Zelle, but it's on the internet. I know it doesn't help you, but on the Rumble or the YouTube, it's
I
on.
think you might care. You can do it.
Okay. Yeah, on the Rumble or the YouTube, it's below the videos.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Andrew, if you're interested, you have Netflix. There's a series about the Roman Empire on it, and in fact, Julius Caesar's wife died from poisoning. So it's common. You can watch the series.
Yeah, it's old. It's one of the old techniques of maiming people. So, it's like all these new weapon systems. They didn't forget about the old ones. They just layer it.
It's on steroids. They enhanced it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the old stuff that works.
Because if you die, right, there's this technology to figure out that you've been poisoned. That's how you die. Now there's to a point where the technology hasn't caught up to the poisoning that we're getting inflicted with.
Yeah, 100%. That's why people at restaurants will poison your food.
Andrew, I have a question.
You never want to, antagonize your food server at a restaurant.
Yeah, especially if you're targeted.
You never want to antagonize them, or even send food back. You never want to send food back at a restaurant when you're sitting there.
Okay, hey, let me mute everybody. We got a weird echo. All right, go ahead. Next person, if you want to. You can unmute yourself if there is a next person.
This can sound like a really stupid question, and I don't care, but what is wrong with people?
We're in a crazy time. It's a crazy time to be alive.
So I have another question. In the morning when I wake up, my hands are asleep, like they're numb. It takes me about 30 seconds to get my hands to be normal. What would that be? That daisy chain I'm trying to break up?
No, that's a completely different weapon system. They use that to keep people awake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been saying this before, is that the majority of the weapon systems they use are one thing and not another. This is and I could get into that, but it doesn't really matter. This is one of the weapon systems that's just weird. It's they use it quite a bit, but it's not like the other ones at all. And it has an effect, but it honestly would be probably too much for most of you to grasp. And I'm sorry if that sounded condescending. I mean, it's hard to place all of this stuff. But let me think. The best way you can block that is with wire. You can wrap wire around or make a mat of wire and then put your hands underneath that or in it or whatever, and that should block it.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Andrew, I've been trying to talk to you for the last couple of weeks and just haven't been able to put it together, but I have some things I would like to show you, so I want to send you an email at some point with some things in there. shieldingteam@gmail will be the address. This is John. I run the Friday Night Club. I've been listening to your stuff. It's some of it's over my head, but we're getting on board with the wearables here.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Wherever you want to start, it'll all lead to the same thing. And that's sorry for sounding condescending. That's not the point. The wearables will take you only so far. Deactivating the implants and detoxing nano will take you the rest of the way. And
I'm definitely afraid. I'm definitely afraid of electricity. I do not want to touch any high voltage stuff. I want to build the EMP thing. I'm afraid to do it. I don't want to touch the stun guns. I'm definitely afraid of electricity, and I have my reasons for that.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to convince you of anything you don't want to do. But I will say this: what's great about using the EMP is that it's a non-invasive procedure to get those implants not working. Else, I don't know of another way because they're so freaking small. The majority of them.
All right. Thanks for the call, man.
Hey, no, I appreciate it, John. Yeah, send me the email. I'll be looking for it. Is there anybody else?
To get you on Rumble or YouTube, do we just type in Onionhead Andrew, or how do we do that? I'm gonna have my caretaker do it when she comes.
It'll be one word, and it'll be Onionhead Andrew, just like you said.
Thank you. Just one word. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, and John, just when you're getting into this stuff, I know it's a bit much information because like who talks about nanomachinery being the conduit that going through our body that directed energy weapons are accessing? So
I would like to try and find a way to pay somebody to build me that EMP machine. I mean, I can scrap all the parts together, but I don't have enough experience with constructing a device of this magnitude. I can see the process and how it works and all, but like me, I'm telling you, I gotta watch the electricity.
Okay. Did you see the easier to build one? Just I know I think you just said it, but the stun gun one.
No.
Okay, the stun gun one is really easy to build. If you get the parts for it, we can arrange something. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about time. Where take about half an hour. You just need hot glue, a stun gun, a stick, so like a paint mixing stick, some wire, 18 to 24 gauge, braided or magnetic wire will work. I think that's it. And then you put those pieces together, those, 3 pieces. It's 3 pieces you're putting together. And then it's glue that you're putting it in place with, but you can use tape. And then you got yourself a functioning DIY EMP, electromagnetic pulse device. The other one I think you were talking about a second ago, that one is much more involved. It is much, much more powerful, though.
We're going to do it.
Sounds good. You go on the YouTube or the Rumble, and you can see the original inventor. His name was James Shin, another targeted individual. He's got it. I put his video up there because I didn't want to steal his work, but now it's getting about time I need to make my own version of it. But either way, his is up there. It will show you how to do it. It's a little bit hard to follow for some people. There's a video right before or right after it where I show the device and I tell you how to build it. So if you watch those two, you'll figure it out. And either way, you'll email me and we'll get it. Well, I'll help you through a face call or FaceTime, whatever.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, well, you can do it. You got it. Got the spirit. We got to be fighters. All right. Was there anybody else?
Hey, Andrew?
Yeah,
Andrew, may I ask another real quick question?
Uh-huh.
So the question is, sometimes, or today, it was kind of very clear. It seems like things come up from under the floor, like at my feet. And I first was on the first floor, kitchen area, and then on the second floor, bedroom and bathroom floor. Any thoughts how that might be happening or how I might impact that, or is it still just with the wearables? But it was new that it kind of came under my feet.
Does it feel that way?
Underneath.
Does it feel that way because your feet are vibrating?
The vibrating is maybe not that strong as vibrating, but yeah, it feels like the pins and the pins that you might feel from when you're waking up and you slept on your hand. So maybe it's vibrating too, but I kind of thought more maybe it's kind of something. It's because I feel something there. Yes.
Okay. All right. No, that's I've heard this from another person I very much trust, and he has said the exact same thing. He actually, do you live in a house?
Yes.
Okay, that's sorry. I thought you said that. What he found is that he did this with security cameras, by the way, really cheap ones. Sanic, you want to write this down maybe? This goes for everyone. If you want a good, cheap security camera system that can pick up some directed energy weapons, Sanic is what you want to buy. I believe that's, SANNEC. I think that's off the top of my head. But they're really cheap. They sell them on Amazon. The low light mode of those cameras can pick up directed energy weapons beams. So like literally beams being sent at you and in your environment. Anyways, what he found is that through using that security camera system, is that they were beaming the foundation of his house. He was on I believe he had they call it a monolithic slab, which is to say like how they used to build foundations, which is one big concrete slab. But maybe they could do this with the footings foundations that they use today. I'm not sure. But either way, what he found is that they were beaming his house and filling it with EMF from the bottom. So what he did is he put pieces of twisted copper wire in front of that beam, and it stopped all of his symptoms. The tingling of the feet, like you're talking about.
So on that Sanic, it's a low energy. What you called it, a low energy.
Sorry for not explaining this better. The average Sanic camera has this mode. I think their base model has got low light vision, whatever, so you can see a lot of these directed energy weapon strikes.
Okay. And I think I do have a slab. Older. I think it's built in a slab.
Yeah, so that would make sense if they're pumping your EMF into your feet, into the foundation.
And would that be done by local or close by people, or it could be from any system, satellite or anything?
It's always both, with the primary thing being local workers. Anybody that tells you it's not local human traffickers, they're either ignorant or they're lying to you. And a lot of people are ignorant, so I don't really blame people for not getting that.
Okay, thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So Andrew, I mean, if your house is on piers, like a lot of them are, like my garage is on a concrete slab, okay, and then the house is on piers throughout is holding it up. If I put the wires around those piers, it'll help.
No, because are the piers conductive? Are the piers concrete?
Yes, they're concrete.
Okay, well, duh, that's obvious. I was thinking for some reason they were wood because of the word pier.
Wood's on top of them.
It could potentially help, but you need to find out if that's even happening, right? And like, how would you do that without some sort of optic of it?
No, because I walk around my house sometimes and I feel like I'm walking on a ship or something. It's all, it's vibrating and it's all wheezy. I can't. There's something going. Like my house is shaking.
Well, okay, so that sounds like it is going on. There is another thing though. When you're breathing these aerosols, what happens is the heavy metals will naturally go to your feet, just because of the way the lymphatic system drains. So that's why I asked her first. If it feels like your feet is vibrating, it's most likely because of that. The heavy metals underneath your skin are being vibrated. If it's the other thing like she was talking about, which I have heard before, then, then yes, twisting copper and putting it on your pillars or the word you used would help.
Piers, yeah.
Piers, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Andrew?
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to make myself known and say hello to everybody. I get on these calls a lot, or I'll watch the recordings. I've emailed you a few times, but I was the one that got sick, and we couldn't have that meeting, so sorry about that. I'm not a targeted individual, but I do a lot of health coaching and people come to me when like nothing else works. And I know that I have spoken to some that are targeted, but I can't tell them, I think you're targeted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here for the education, so I probably will not say a whole lot when I get here, but I just wanted to let you know who I was, so I'm not just a little. And I've got a lot of the parts and pieces to make the things that you've been talking about, even down to the fan. So.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, we're getting a lot of interference right now. Hold on. It's just an accident. Hold on a second. When you're done talking, you got to mute yourself. But either way, wearing the components will, just as a general health coach, could help a lot of, you could help a lot of people with. And then the pulsed electromagnetic field part of this, check out the videos, high voltage EMP. I cannot prove this because I don't have the people to study with right now, but I believe pulsing those electromagnetic fields over a nanotech injured person, i.e. someone that took the medical experimentation, would be a viable treatment and maybe even a cure, given long enough. I don't know that though for sure.
Well, actually, maybe I can help you with that, because that's what a lot of people come in for, is they're wanting to know, how can I detox from the shots and this and that kind of thing. Yes, so I am going to experiment and kind of tell you what's going on my side of things occasionally, because at some point in time, I'll need to talk to you or send somebody to you. But yes, I'm going to be making all these devices, and I'm going to be using them on myself for my own experimentation. And like the vibrations that people are talking about inside their skin or their body, I get that stuff as well. But we know that even not directly targeted individuals are going to be having all these. I'm breathing in heavy metals too, right? Not targeted with heavy metals, but I'm getting those inside me as well. So there's a lot of things that I like to be preemptive, and I like to know what's going on, and I like to be prepared. So that is why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yep. I would suggest that you look at the high voltage EMP device. That one has the most promise for the general public.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey.
Hey, this is Maxton. I sent you over an email. Just if you do have time, I'd love to collaborate on Targeted Army sometime. Sorry to not on subject, but I just wanted to say hello and let you know that I sent an email to your husband.
Okay, cool. Did you just do that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, hey, you're cutting out, but I got you. All right, I'll take a look at it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? We're nearing 2 hours right now. Okay, hey, for everyone that has listened a few times but not commented, please, and I don't want to, I'm not saying you have to do anything. If you want to be here, you can just listen. But please, I would have, man, I don't know how to say this. I would have spent everything I owned, in fact I did, to get this information earlier in my targeting. I have put blood, sweat, and tears in this. This is much bigger than me, though. All this information is much, 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 much bigger than me. I guess what I'm trying to say is please don't squander the opportunity here. All right? This was all given to me piecemeal, and a lot of it I didn't make. A lot of it I found from other people, and I just put it together. Like James Shin, he invented the EMP device, the stun gun EMP. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here right now. Michael Chapala, he figured out that pulsed electromagnetic fields detox nano. If he hadn't done what he did, we wouldn't be here right now. The wearables was all me, right? That was lucky though. The alkaline foods, I figured that out myself. But if it wasn't for Dr. Robert Young, figuring out the theory behind it, we wouldn't be here right now. A lot of people have come into this space before us and have laid the groundwork for us to be here right now at the top of this mountain. And that's really what it is. This is the peak of it right now, what we're experiencing with these weapon systems. There will be newer weapon systems, I'm sure. There will be newer tactics, I'm sure. But this information will triumph all of it as long as we keep working on it together as a group, because we can crowdsource any solution now that we know how it's all working. And how is it all working? The implants are sending low pulses into the body, low electrical pulses into the body. They are converting energy from ambient and directed energy weapon systems to send those low pulses. The low pulses are pulling in heavy metals and nanomachinery. The heavy metal comes from our food and the aerosols released around us. Same with the nanomachinery. Those in turn are building conductive pathways from implant to implant. So that's nanomachinery and heavy metals building conductive pathways from the exterior, from our skin, or from just subdermal layers, all the way to the deepest reaches of our organs, our heart, liver, kidney, brain, so forth. All right? The directed energy weapons are then accessing those pathways. And that is how this whole thing works. The directed energy weapons wouldn't be nearly as effective without the nanomachineries and heavy metal present. All right? The nanomachinery and heavy metals wouldn't be nearly as effective without the implants present. So it's those three things working in tandem: nanomachinery, implants, and directed energy weapons. With only one of them, the system doesn't work. You know, implants, when did that happen? 1960s, 1970s? You know, 1980s? What would they be able to do with implants? They'd be able to send a low electrical shock to that area of your body, all right, with the ambient directed energy weapon systems charging it. If it was just nanomachinery, it would be what's going on with the general public right now with those white fibrous clots. All right, it would be causing clots and chronic illness and death, right? If it was just directed energy weapons, it would be what was going on with the embassy workers back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, all right? Which was, they were getting poisoned with radiation, and they were having leukemia and like the same specific set of, I don't know how to say that, chronic inflammation. It was very specific chronic inflammation. And it was very trackable, very provable. They could measure these people's teeth and hair, be like, oh, you're very irradiated. You must have been working in an embassy next to USSR, 60s, 70s, 80s, right? Like the woodpecker and all that. It's only through nanotech, implants, and directed energy weapons that we've seen in the last 25, 30 years that we can get these advanced outcomes that, quote, targeted individuals, unquote, are experiencing every day, which is to say people being human trafficked by their government, right? And by the powers behind their government, more accurately. So anyways, if you're listening to this and you heard what I just said and you haven't commented and you're not sure if you should be working through the paradigm that I presented or anything, don't believe me. Just listen to the logic of what I'm saying and then maybe test some of it in your own life. And if it holds water, which it will, but if it holds water, go ahead and move forward. If it doesn't, then just go ahead and leave it. All right? But the people that are telling you that this is all directed energy weapons, they don't have any answers for you. There's no fruit in what they're saying. The people that are saying, well, I guess that's really it, right? That's the one conversation out there, is that this is all directed energy weapons. It wasn't until this last year and a half. I've been saying this for years now, and it's only been this last year and a half people have been willing to listen to me. All right? The conversation was up till recently. It's all directed energy weapons being done by supercomputers out of some deep state Air Force base, Schriever or whatever, some supercomputers in Philadelphia. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. And while that could be true, I don't know. The bigger thing is that implants, I guess that was the other conversation. The implants and nanotech is definitely involved. And I can demonstrate this into people's lives. And it actually, people on the call have had this demonstrated in their lives. So anyways, that's my my plea to you, I guess. Because when enough of us get through this, it stops. There's no two ways about it. I need all of you. This isn't just an act of charity, coming out here doing all this, making all these videos and all of that. It's because I need you. I need you all to move through this and get where I am now. Because I'm not going to be free until we're free. And that's generally true of the public too, right? Either way, we're in this together. There's no two ways about it. Does anyone want to say anything?
I do. Andrew, my name is Star, and I'm really pleased to be on your call and really appreciate the way that you manage your call. I've been targeted for a while, and I do have many questions, and I am so overwhelmed because it's so much, the torture, the coming into my home and stalking and all sorts of stuff like that. But it's mainly the damage that's being done to my body, and I just feel like it's so much, and to just bring up a few things when there's so much more, it's like I don't even know where to begin. Mm-hmm. So, but just want to introduce myself and say that I really appreciate the call.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, thanks for introducing yourself. And I would say definitely go to Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube and start looking through stuff there. All the classes are recorded.
Yeah. Sure thing. I will.
And then beyond that, the greater idea is on there too, the paradigm that I was just talking about, and the steps to how to move through that.
I will say that the game changer for me was the stun gun. I mean, I did that at first, and it all went away, and then slowly, they hit me with something else, and then I introduced all the wearables and stuff. But it really worked. It really works. So please watch his videos.
Yeah. The stun gun. Hey, this is Simon, North Carolina. The stun gun. How do you use that? I don't quite get it.
Okay. Well, there's a video again on Onionhead Andrew or YouTube, but I'll briefly explain it.
Okay, now I'll find the video also. Okay.
Okay. You take a stun gun and you reroute the electricity from the stun gun through a loop of wire. That loop of wire ends up producing a field, and the stun gun produces the high voltage. Together, they produce an electromagnetic pulse. That electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, disables these little implants that we have in us. Every target is full of these tiny, tiny, tiny little implants. They're so tiny. And then some of us have the bigger ones too. But either way, this EMP will deactivate both of them. Most likely. Definitely the little ones, most likely the bigger ones. Sometimes the bigger ones need more work.
Okay, and this is temporary, right? Does it disable them like indefinitely and they never work again, or?
Well, it does disable them, but two things will happen. One, they'll try to get more of them in you. There's a whole explanation behind that, which we could go over at a different time. I've talked about it before. It involves how they're getting them in people. It's a whole thing. And then the second thing is that they will use other elements. Basically, they will use nanowalkers and other nanomachinery differently to keep targeting you once they realize you've done this effectively.
I see. All right.
That's why it's not just the stun gun, it's the paradigm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I'm wondering when you'll have another one of these, and you may not know right now. But
oh no, I'm here every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you. All right.
Andrew?
Wow.
Andrew?
Hi, Liliana. Yep. Liliana?
Yes, can
Oh,
you hear me?
Yeah, you were cutting out. Go ahead
Can you hear
again.
me, Andrew?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Did you receive a one-page document called True Justice that I sent to you? That is a satanic document of 21 pages of diabolical ideas. That is all that they're doing to us. And in those pages, everything is like it's like a manual of instructions on how to attack us, including the electronic assaults and the forms of harassment happening in our community to us, and kind of tradespeople, people with different trades participating in these psychologists, psychiatrists, law enforcement, all the participants. It states there that they should fabricate stories about us so that we can be victims of false allegations against us and defamation in a community. Also, the recruitment of children to commit crimes against us in this program. It's a fascinating document. I sent it to you. If you didn't receive it, these diabolical 21 pages, everybody that received it said this looks an authentic document that was leaked not too long ago. Did you get a copy of that?
I haven't seen anything about it,
well,
but I will check my email again.
Okay, I'll send it to you again.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
You know.
I appreciate that. Hey, do we have?
Could you state the title of that one more time, please, of that 21 page? What was the title of it, please?
It's absurdly called by the criminals True Justice.
True Justice?
True Justice.
Oh, true. T-O-J, Justice?
Yeah. No, T-R-U-E, true. True, like truth, true justice. T-R-U-E, justice, true justice.
Just two words?
A copy of the document has been published by the organization that publishes documents called Script, S-C-R-I-B-D.
Okay, hey, Liliana, you're cutting out really bad. Can you write that in the chat for her? Okay. Yeah, we're losing you. Can't hear you. But hey, we're at 5. Liliana, we can't hear you. But hey, as per usual, though, I always like hearing from you. But when I can't hear you. But hey, so we're nearing 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's a long time for me to talk, anyways. I'm going to shut off the recording unless anyone wants to say anything. And let's keep it relevant just to respect everyone's time because it's been a long time now. Is there anything?
Hi, Andrew. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
You got me? Okay,
Yep.
Hold on. Let me put the speaker on. All right, I wanted to say, I'm sorry I haven't said anything. I know I'm one of the ones that, hasn't said anything, but I appreciate everything you're doing. And I don't have any opinion against or, that sort of thing. It's just I feel so darn beat up from everything that I'm going through. And I know they're attacking me heavily, that I have a hard time concentrating. I am wiped out. And so I feel weary. My self-esteem isn't what, I'd like it to be, but I actually did the fan thing with the twisted copper. I did that. I want to do the stun gun EMP thing. I do. It's just a matter of me focusing. that is like a huge challenge for me. It's been getting worse over the past few years. But it's the whole focusing thing that's what I struggle with. And I have been working overtime so that I can purchase the things I need, the shielding and so on, get these pieces and put these things together, you know. But yeah, actually the overtime, I think the working is helping me with the money, but also keeping me away from my apartment, you know, which I know is a big, I used to think of it as my protection, but it's like more like a torture chamber now. But anyways, so I just wanted to say something. Thank you very much for being there for us, and I do want to get you some money at some point. So I'm not going to neglect you in that regard. I will get something to you. Okay.
Oh, hey, thank you. I always appreciate support. And beyond that, I appreciate you talking today. My
name is Kelly. Did I say my name was Kelly? Yeah.
No, I wanted to.
I am.
Okay, nice to meet you, Kelly. I was going to ask, but I know people like their anonymous.
No, it's okay. It's all right, no problem.
Okay,
so,
hey, great.
Yeah, I'm glad I said something, but I guess I've just been just feeling low and like a chicken kind of and that sort of thing. But yeah, so I'm just being honest, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Hey, now that you introduced yourself, when you're working through this, send me an email and I'll remember exactly who you are.
Okay. All right, I will.
Okay, it's great hearing from you, Kelly.
Hey,
all right, thank you.
When people buy the stun guns, tell them which one to buy. Don't buy the push button. Buy the one with the trigger thing.
Yeah, you want to get one with a nice toggle switch, not the push button ones. But honestly, Sandy, it's one of those things that where people are, if you get what you get sometimes. But you're right, you would rather have a toggle. But you remember Sandy, real quick, do you remember the first time you just using the push button, how you immediately felt a release or a difference, or very, very soon after?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. It was amazing. And it worked for a very long time. I would just occasionally have to zap myself to see if I could feel any movement in my body. And it probably was about 60 days, maybe 90, maybe even 4 months before they figured out I knocked all that stuff out. And then I guess they filled me full of stuff again. So it's 10 times worse around. But yeah, when I first started using it, oh my God, it was, I could sleep. The stuff in my eyes was, I wasn't having light in my eyes. I could think. I can't tell you the difference that the stun gun makes in your life. It's truly, you should do that if you don't do anything else. I started off with the ceiling fan, and I still have my ceiling fan going. And then I graduated to the stun gun, and I was like, well, I'm a 60-year-old lady. I don't know if I'm doing this right. And I did have a couple of failed times, and just listening to your videos and, trial and error, you're going to make mistakes. But when you hit yourself with the stun gun, it doesn't stun you. I mean, even I've actually hit myself with the stun gun, and it shocked me, but it's not going to kill you. But there's no feeling at all. It's just it's the vibration or the magnetic field that goes through that wire, and then you can feel it pulsing through your body, and you'll feel that nanotechnology in your body. So, that's how you kind of know when you start doing it right. But it's imperative that you watch the video a couple of times, because you're going to fuck it up if you just try to go on your own smartness.
Yeah, hey, thank you. I really appreciate that testimony. And the reason it's so much worse right now is because you're threatening them, right? They're not scared of you. They're scared of their bosses, right? This is how it works. So these are the worst people in society. and I'm not just saying that just to be, controversial or whatever. These are literally human traffickers. They're literally involved in rape, murder, pedophilia, the whole thing. So the boots on the ground, so a lot of times they are, a lot of times they aren't involved in that stuff, but their bosses very much are. So when you start breaking through, it's like, oh my God, these people will start freaking losing their minds, because not only are you endangering their money, but now all of a sudden their lives are in danger too, because they're part of this organized crime and they're not doing their job. So, and that's one of the reasons that it will increase so much. But either way, it will increase as much as they can take it when they decide to take it there if you do nothing. And for me, they decided to take it to the kill level with the directed energy weapons and the aerosols and all that back in 2019. So that's how the only reason I'm so far ahead of this more than other people is because it's been 6 years where they've been trying to maim me, and not to the point where it's like, average targeted people, and I'm not to say, I'm not trying to compare myself, that's not the point, but average targeted people, they'll have debilitating headaches, right? And they'll be made very tired and very lethargic and things like that, right? For me, it was to the point where I was having stroke symptoms back in 2019, late 2019, on a regular basis. I was having tumors in the back of my head that were like the size of the big marbles. I forget what those marbles are called. The smashers, whatever, it doesn't matter. I had to figure all this stuff out. I absolutely had to. And when I couldn't, I left the country. And when I left the country, I went to all over America. Long story short, I saw the people that were doing this at the international level. And I saw how this was part of a bigger thing. And it didn't really have to do with the U.S. government like we thought. It didn't really have to do with community watch protection. It didn't have to do with any of that. It was all about human trafficking and developing weapons to kill society en masse. That's what this whole thing is about. So when you break through, at your local small level, this is how important every single targeted individual is. When you break through at your little level, you are endangering the world system. All right? That's literally the way they're viewing your efforts. Whether the people, like here locally, the outlaw bikers, know that or really comprehend that, it doesn't really matter. The system very much does. The people at the top of DHS or FBI or CIA or the U.S. military, they all change hats. They're all the same thing. They're the same people at the top of the Mossad, the Unit 8200, MI5, MI6, whatever. And they're all working at behest for the shadowy forces behind our government. They very much understand how important you are and how important your day-to-day and moment-to-moment really is. All right? When you break through, yes, they will clamp down on you. But either way, they're coming for all of us. All right? And we're just the first ones here. All right? If it wasn't us, it would be somebody else. This isn't really about you. It's about the system. So as you break through it, it's like escaping prison. All right? If you escape prison on your last day, right, it doesn't matter. They're still going to come after you with all the guns, right? And all the dogs and anything they can to put you back in prison, even though you only had 1 day left. It's about the system, right? And that's really what this is about. It's not about me. It's not about Onionhead Andrew. It's not about Sandy. It's not about anybody that's talked tonight. It's about this system. And that's why we need to break it collectively, each one of us, everywhere we are. Because it will follow you around the world. It will follow you around your life, whatever, so forth, so forth. I don't need to rant. Is there anybody that wants to say anything before I cut the recording?
I'd like to introduce myself, Andrew.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Sandrina. I love your show. I appreciate everything that you're doing. And I just want to say I haven't said anything, but I've been very visible here in the chat as well as on your call. But I am in my second round of being in the court system through these perpetrators. My first case was thrown out. My second case was an illegal arrest, so it has the propensity to be thrown out as well. And I am just fighting the fight. I have found some gadgets that work extremely well for me. I am being targeted by law enforcement and above. And the portable hand massagers with a handle are very, very effective because what it does is it breaks the frequency.
Can you thank you for introducing yourself, Sandrina. Can you post that in the chat what you're talking about so I can look at it?
Sure, I can take a picture of it and put it in there.
Or just give me the name and I'll Google it.
Oh, okay. Also, I want to let everybody know when they're targeting your extremities, such as your legs and feet and ankles, I learned this from MAP. And what it is, it's a frequency, and they're targeting your veins. If you get a cold towel and wrap your legs with it, what you'll see is the swelling will start to decrease. As much as you use it, you'll see more and more and more decrease, and your mobility will get better and better and better.
That's great, helping that lymphatic drainage.
Yes. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you for everything. I follow you on Rumble, and I think you're magnificent. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. You got my email then?
Yes, I do. I got it.
Okay, great.
And I'll put that information in the chat.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If that's chat, Andrew, do you see it?
Yes, I got it right now. And then, hey, can you still email that to me, please, too? I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm gonna Google it right after we get off too, though, just to make sure I get the exact one you want me to have.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I think that's about it. Unless we got anybody else who wants to talk. Okay, so I'll see you all again next Saturday.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet. Ooh, 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 ooh.